Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Low Budget Review Show. I am your host, Eric Smith, and today I'm talking about The Poisoner's Last Ride by Kenzie Jennings, a post-apocalyptic love story, and it is from Blistered Siren Press. There's their logo, and I love that cover. Absolutely beautiful. I'd put a poster of this up on my wall. Nutshell, it's a dystopian future. People live in the city, protected, covered. It's a wasteland outside, and people get sent out there. One of the punishments is being sent out there, but some people want to escape to the wastelands. And our main character is a poisoner. I believe they call themselves actuators. But don't take my word for it. I don't recall if that's... Oh, auditors. See, all I had to do is look at the back. Sector auditors. And basically they get an assignment and they go and poison somebody. As a punishment, but it also sort of keeps the population down because everybody's crowded into these cities. And so our main character... she and her husband are auditors who basically want out. And there's more to it than that, but that's all I'm going to tell you at the moment. I gave this, for the Too Long Didn't Watch folks, I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. I'm a huge fan of Kenzie Jennings' writing. Her debut novel, Reception, fantastic. Her horror western, The Red Station, fantastic. Her short story collection, Always Listen to Her Hurt, I believe is the title of it. Fantastic. And this one is a great story. She builds this dystopian world, and then she introduces, we have sort of a cold open. Not going to tell you what happens there. And then we're introduced to our main character, and really sort of gets to the world building of how this city functions. And I think that I can say this because Kenzie Jennings has mentioned it on social media. There is some Road Warrior, some Mad Max in the book. It's about a third of the book maybe. So you've got the stuff that goes on in the city, and then our main characters do make it, spoilers, make it out of the city. But then you have sort of the Mad Max thing going on. There are other influences in the book that I'm not going to mention. There is an afterword, not the acknowledgments. Yes, it's an afterword, not like an author's note. Not that that matters. Where Kenzie Jennings talks about the influences, the things that inspired and can be felt in this book. Again, she's talked about Mad Max, and that one's pretty obvious. She mentions another story that I was not familiar with, and so I read it. It's just a short story. I read it as soon as I finished reading this. And then there was one influence that I was like, oh, this kind of reminds me a little bit of this thing. She mentions that in the afterword. And then I sent her a message, and I said that I saw a little bit of something else in it. And she was like, oh, I didn't think of that. Maybe subconsciously that was in my mind. So how's that for vague? But I don't want to tell you. I don't want to tell you what these things were other than Mad Max, again, because she herself has talked about it on social media. But there are all these other influences. Kenzie Jennings says she is a huge fan of the post-apocalyptic setting. I enjoy it well enough. I don't go searching for it, but I don't crap on it either. I love the Mad Max movies for the most part, and the other influences that are in here. Short book. I read it in one sitting, so it's difficult. I don't want to give anything away. well written, interesting characters, interesting world, and excuse me, I felt like I was going to sneeze for the past like 15 minutes, and it's getting just a little stronger. As I said, Kenzie Jennings, fantastic writer, and there was something I was going to say. Oh, so yes, so we're introduced to the characters, to the world, to their hopes and dreams, and the story progresses nicely. There's a little bit of a mystery going on as well, and yeah, I think that's it. I can't milk this video any longer. 4 out of 5 stars. Ignore that noise. That means I got a text. Because I never turn my phone off when I'm going to record. I never think of it. The Poisoner's Last Ride, a post-apocalyptic love story by Kenzie Jennings. 4 out of 5 stars. The cover alone gets 5 out of 5 stars. I love that. But highly recommended, especially if you're a fan of Mad Max post-apocalyptic stories and the other influences that I'm not even going to tell you, so you have to figure it out for yourself. But absolutely well worth your time and money. Great book. And so, question for this video: are you a fan of post-apocalyptic stories? As I said, I can take them or leave them. I don't specifically search them out, but there are plenty that I do enjoy. The Mad Max series, as I said. I'm not a huge fan of Beyond Thunderdome, but I really love the original Mad Max. I actually like that one better than The Road Warrior, but it's another case. There's so many movie series where I think, at least in my experience, people like the second movie better. I always tend to like the first movie better. Star Wars, Terminator, Mad Max, 3 off the top of my head, Godfather. But anyway, yes. Really like the Mad Max series. Love Fury Road. There's how many zombie apocalypses are there to talk about? But the George Romero zombie verse, mostly great. I think the original trilogy is so good that it overshadows any missteps in the later zombie movies that Romero made. And I'm just trying to think of other like post-apocalyptic stuff. But again, I'm not super well versed in it because it's not. I wouldn't even put it in my top 5 favorite subgenres of horror or science fiction, because it can go either way, I think. But again, I don't dislike it. I don't avoid it. I just don't actively seek it out. But what about you? Do you like post-apocalyptic fiction? And if you do, what's your favorite? If you don't, why not? Let me know in the comments below. If you have any comments, questions, corrections, please put those in the comments below. Comments are open for spoilers. Just post a spoiler warning. We try to be polite here at the Low Budget Review Show. Please like, share, and subscribe, all the usual YouTube stuff. If you'd care to follow me on other social media, my Twitter, I refuse to call it X, is at Ronan5757. My Instagram, where I post pictures of books, comic books, board games, and fuzzy animals, is ErikSmith5757. That's Eric with a K, ERIKSMITH5757. And if you're on Blue Sky, I am at ELSmith, and that's .bsky.social. That's all I have for you. This has been the Low Budget Review Show. I have been Erik Smith, and until next time, read more books.